All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 135-pound division where Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s CEO of Mayweather Promotions lets Devin Haney know what he needs to do to get the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, and it's pretty funny. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where Gervonta Tank Davis will be fighting Ryan Garcia, and later, maybe a few weeks after that, the undisputed champion Devin Haney will be fighting Vasily Lomachenko. Assuming that the two, Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, get through their respective fights, there are many people that are saying, will that fight come next? And that question was asked of Floyd Mayweather Jr. CEO Leonard Ellerby, who I'm telling you, and I don't get why these people act like this man is not still connected with those guys in a way, and also why they would think that these people don't have some type of influence over what goes on at the PBC. He tells Devin Haney what needs to happen in order to get that fight done. And it ain't pretty, and it probably ain't happening next. But before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It is exactly how the channel is able to continue to go and grow. So thank you for the support and the super thanks. Videos like this, thank you for your likes and anyway, in the positive comments. But let's get into it. And, you know, I think a lot of people want to see the Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney fight after the Ryan Garcia fight with Gervonta Davis and after the fight with Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. Very reasonable thing to want. It makes a lot of sense because you have one guy in Gervonta Davis who is the big attraction in the division, the one that people want to see. And then you have Devin Haney, the guy that holds all of the hardware in the division, the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, and the WBC belt. So Sean Vitale of Fight Hype asked Leonard Ellerby the question about what it would take to get that fight done between the two. And Leonard Ellerby's answer, as usual, was very honest. And it isn't necessarily what people want to hear, but it is something that if you kind of think about it, makes a lot of sense. And it is, and for me personally, I don't want to get into a lot of, moral conversations in the sport of boxing about what people need to do for their legacy and what people need to do for the good of boxing. There are fights that I want to see happen. And I think that in order to make those fights happen, the people that are talking about the fight need to do what they need to do in order to get the fight. I 100% agree with that. If somebody wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, say Jamal Charlo wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez, and Jamal is the best fighter around him, which I think he was at 160. But just by way of example, Canelo needs to fight that guy. Jamal Charlo also needs to make sure that fight happens on his end, which is by doing his part, whatever that means. If that means being able to get belts, get the belts. If it means you taking a lower cut of the money to get the fight with Canelo, do that. Whatever the case is, I think that it's on both parties to make. It's definitely on both parties to make that fight, right? Canelo, though, for me, ducked that man because the door was wide open, and this guy was as good to fight as anybody else, right? For Canelo. In the case of Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney, what Leonard Ellerby is saying is, look, Devin Haney's going to have to make himself an attraction. And he talked about the hardware in the division because he would say, well, he's the undisputed champion. He has all the belts. And so Leonard Ellerby says, well, how many people have been lightweight champions over the last 4 years? How many people? And then you start counting them. You're like, okay, well, there was Teofimo Lopez had a belt and Vasily Lomachenko had 3. And there was also, who was it? Teofimo, it was Lomachenko, then Teofimo Lopez, then George Kambosos, and then now there's Devin Haney, right? So he brings up the point like, look, man, there's been a bunch of people with those belts. And 4 of those people had at least 3 of those belts at one point in time. Devin Haney fans always argue that he was the only one that had 4. But look, man, not according to the WBC, the people that hold the belt that people are questioning. That's 3 people who held 3 people that held 4 belts and 1 person that held 3 belts. Anyway you count it, it's at least 3 people that had 3 belts. 3 people, 1 person had 3 people that had 3 belts. 1 person that had 4 belts. Whatever combination, the Devin Haney is not the first of those multiple people to have that many belts. And Devin is yet to defend it against any of the other. Well, he defended it against George Kambosos, but the attraction is what Leonard Ellerby is talking about. And I think that there is definitely an argument to be made about that. And some people are going to like it. People are not going to like it. But at the end of the day, Devin Haney is going to have to do something to convince Gervonta Davis to take that fight, because you really can't name people's priorities for them, especially if it's a guy that's in the situation that Gervonta Davis is in, where Gervonta Davis has already had major world championship belts at 130 pounds. And for many fighters, and I mean many fighters as in I believe Devin Haney as well, the ultimate goal of the belts is to get you enough name recognition where you become an attraction and people want to see you. And then when people want to see you, you fill up the stadium. And since you fill up the stadium, you make a lot of money. You sell the pay-per-views, you do all of that type of stuff. And that's what people are looking for and really trying to get to. And so if somebody gets to that stage after becoming a world champion, and then they say, hey, look, man, I'm not really concerned about the belts. There's a 12% cost associated with it. The guy that has the belts but does not have the name recognition is going to have to find some type of way to make sure that fight gets done. Now, on the part of Gervonta Davis, I know that their attitude in the past has been that they were going to make the fight and they'll get to that fight when they get past when they get past Hector Garcia, which they did, and they get past Ryan Garcia, which will happen, hopefully for them, will happen on April 22nd. If it doesn't, then you have a rematch. But I feel pretty safe to say I believe that he's going to get past that kid on the 22nd, and then we'll go from there. Then Devin Haney's going to have to fight the guy, and beat Vasily Lomachenko in the middle of May or late May, which, by the way, is not going to be an easy task. One thing I'll also say, I think it would be really helpful for Devin Haney and to get the name recognition and to get kind of people really interested in the fight is if Devin Haney is able to stop somebody. Now, I know knocking people out and stopping somebody is not the end all and be all to boxing. That there is beauty in the sport of boxing aside from the knockout. However, if you want to get the attention and the attraction of people that want to see you because of what you're doing in the ring, those knockouts go a long way towards, making that happen. And that has been the case of pretty much every big star in boxing that has achieved that, from Muhammad Ali to Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Oscar De La Hoya, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, pretty much Deontay Wilder, any Canelo Alvarez, any of the Manny Pacquiao, these guys that get up, Gervonta Davis, that get to that level are people where you can see, boom, he's out, and you get that sensation at the end of the fight. So, I kind of feel what Leonard Ellerby is saying. Hopefully we'll get to see the fight. Also, I think Devin Haney's probably going to be out of the weight class at the time. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comments section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.